welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I am your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And tonight, we have a very, very special show. This is the New York City Basketball All-City Selection Show. And I got some friends that's going to join me, so sit back and enjoy the show.
Y'all ready? Yeah. You have just now into the world of chaos. Where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. East Coast, go hard. West Coast, go hard. Midwest, go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody, get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
Fellas, what's happening?
What's going on?
How you doing? Let me just introduce my two esteemed guests because they are two staples in New York City media on the basketball side. So I want to welcome my guy Dave from Dave Joint, my guy Jaquan from Hoop Dreams NYC. Let's give a round of applause for you fellas, man. Thanks for joining. The show.
Man.
Thank you for having me.
Nah. This was important, man. I we spoke a long time ago. A lot of people probably thought or thinking, oh, they just put that together now. Nah, this is all the way in the beginning of the season before the basketball season started.
Right.
I approached these two gentlemen because it was presented to me, and I respect what you guys do. I know you guys out there just as much as I am. And, I respect you guys' voices. So I wanted to include you guys in this process because I think it'll just make it fair and unbiased.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, man. So how do you guys feel about the year? Give me some of your thoughts, man. Dave, you go first and we go to you, Jay.
All right.
What can I say about the year? It was a pretty good year. We got to see a lot of kids stand out that, that probably have been hidden gems before. People know them now. So this year in the city was very fun.
Yeah, I mean, this season was great. Great season in both leagues, PSAL, Catholic League. A lot of talent out there. As always, but I mean, a lot of the players took it up a notch. We've seen some great performances. We've seen some great games, highly competitive. I think we've seen one of the best PSAL title games in years. I feel like this is where they really stepped it up in the PSAL. I mean, I was live for the AA, but I think all games, we saw a lot of talent out there that really made the city proud, for real.
Absolutely. And it's like you can't really knock the PSAL. Like there's just talent, but it's like a lot of these coaches are not noticing them. But now, they gotta notice them. You gotta pay attention to them because, these kids deserve a shot at a scholarship too.
Facts.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree. Seeing all the city championship games, for the past couple of years, and even going beyond that, man. That PSL game this year have to be like top 5, like just from the atmosphere, the crowd, the camaraderie with the players. I was watching guys knock each other down and them guys pick each other up like from the opposite team. Just so much respect that they have for each other.
This is sportsmanship all the way.
Yeah, a lot of class, man. And of course, there are no losers, but somebody got to come out on top, right?
Right. That's a fact.
Right.
I think that's what that game gave us. Like, I was like, yo, somebody has to lose this game. That's what the
Mhm.
feeling the game gave us at
Yeah.
Barclays, man.
Right,
Like
right. No, honestly.
it was no tomorrow. It felt that's how it felt. Like it was no tomorrow. Only one team would stay on top
Right.
or finish on top, I should say.
Right, right. Salute to both programs, and both coaches did an excellent job, man. So, now it's our job, right? Now it's our job, and I think we have, some of the toughest jobs they cover, and I think people don't understand and don't realize what it takes to make sure, uh, Dave, you get those pictures, right? Those pictures are legendary. The pictures
Mhm.
that you take are legendary.
Yep.
Now I see people, they posing, they waiting for you. You know what I'm saying? Like people are posing, waiting for you before you can catch
Yeah.
them off guard. And you do that as well.
Right.
But now
Right.
it's like, yo, if I can get a picture with Dave, it just makes the whole experience a lot more enjoyable. And then you, Jay,
Absolutely.
you just be down there, and a lot of people don't be noticing what you're doing, but you out there getting some of the best footage out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Covering a lot of games. So, man, definitely
Definitely. Yeah.
awesome, awesome. So now we got down to the end of the season, and what I kind of did was I broke it up to three parts, right?
Mhm.
Um, have the all city, right? Just everybody together. And then I put the PSCL, and then I put the Catholic School League.
Mm.
Okay.
I
Okay.
likes. I likes.
I like that.
You
I
know,
likes.
I know, Dave, you talked about wanting to do it by each league, but I think that'll be stretching it too far, and then it becomes participation trophies. You get
Right.
what I'm saying?
No, yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put up a list, right? And then we can kind of pick and choose. Be like, all right, maybe this person belongs here, this person belongs here. Because my list is not definitive. It's just what I thought, and all of the players that I saw who I think deserved the right. And then
Mhm.
we can kind of figure out whether they're first team, second team, and then go on like that.
Right.
Absolutely.
All right, cool, cool, cool. So I'm gonna share the screen. I know it's kind of small, right?
Actually, I can zoom in.
I bet.
I see. I got a good view of it.
All right. So that's where I started off at, right? I started off there. Um, it was just like I'll give my explanation why I did what I did, and then you guys could, kind of give your portion of it, why or why not, right? Um, I just thought Boogie Flan kind of separated himself from everyone, especially
Mhm.
during that Catholic school run when they knocked off CTK and Cardinal Hayes, right? I just thought there was just a lot of back and forth. Who was better? Ian, Boogie, Brandon Williams. Who was going to take it? Who was going to be that guy that kind of, lead the charge for New York City and do it in such a classy way, with all around play, right? This
Right.
guy was giving you the deep threes. He could penetrate. He was
Mhm.
dishing off and getting his assists. And he's not a guy that's going to give you 40 a night, 30 or 40 a night. That's not his game because he have such an all-around game. But when he was called on to do so, he came through.
Right.
Time after time after time. And I think out of that bunch, out of that group of players who was considered the elite players, he was the most consistent out of the bunch. Now, it could go for some other players, but we'll get to the second team, right? Like I feel like Josh Pasquarelli was one of those players as well, but
Mhm.
they kind of fell short, right? Um, and Coach Jimmy Lynch, I just thought was like the best coach out of everyone. Not saying he was, a better coach, but from what I saw, from what he had to work with, from with the team that he had to work with, and the plays that he was able to call, and the sets, and starting a freshman and playing another freshman in key clutch situations. I just thought that Jimmy Lynch showed that he was definitely coach of the year. That may surprise a lot of people, but that's who I had. And then I filtered out the rest of the first team, because that's where we're gonna stick up, and then we'll go to the second and third. First team with Boogie, Jaden Zimmerman, Trey Shep, Ian Jackson, and Anthony Isaac. Now, I know a lot of people will be surprised, like, why not Brandon Williams, who's going to USC? Well, I felt Brandon towards the end, he kind of missed those last couple of games. That kind of would have kept him there at the first team. So I think Anthony Isaac kind of got the nudge on him on that way, because he was like one of the steady big men, him and Trey Shep, throughout the whole year. And we haven't had a lot of big man play in New York City this year. So I'll leave the floor open for one of you gentlemen.
Dave, you want to start off?
What I would say is I think this list is pretty accurate, And as far as Brandon, we all know the situation.
Right.
But I believe that Anthony Isaac definitely had a great year. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody that coaches should definitely be looking at. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's low Division I, you know what I'm saying, B2s, whatever.
Oh, you don't know? You don't. I think he's going to LIU with Trey Shep and Eric Acker.
Oh yeah, because they've had a lot of transfers lately. Yeah, man. Shout outs to Rod Strickland, Mo Hicks, Charles Jones over there at LIU.
Yeah.
Also the Strickland brothers have transferred in. So
Yes.
It's going to be a very exciting, very, very exciting team at LIU.
Yeah, that's cool. That's big right there. It's big. Yeah, man. Looking at this first team. Oh, you got something else?
He's going to do the first team right now, and then we can filter down.
Okay. Oh, first team. All right, so yeah, I agree. I agree with Dave. I like how the first team's looking. I mean, Boogie's run was memorable. I mean, no one's going to deny Boogie's run. It was like get back. Going beating CTK and Hayes just to get that coveted Catholic League title.
Woo!
Trey Shep and Anthony Isaac very deserving of that first team nod, just based off what they accomplished getting to the championship. Of course, Trey Shep winning it, but look at the numbers they put up as big men: 30 plus, 40 plus. 20 games, having 20 rebound games, and these guys are about 6'6" and under. So putting up those games, putting up those big performances matter a lot too, and where they finish at the end of the season. Ian Jackson, there was a point in the season where Hayes was not really looking like contenders. Taking all these big losses and stuff nationally and locally, but he turned his game up, and he was one of the players that was the driving force to get them back to the city title. So all people are deserving. Of course, Coach Jimmy Lynch, after you have that drop off, you lose Latique Briscoe, you lose Chance Norris, you lose your wingman, the dude that was playing the 2, 3, 4, and 5, Jaden Daughtry, who's at Marist. Losing all those players, and then to have Josh Pasquarelli and a whole bunch of great young players, great young core, get to the Final Four, you basically set that program up for the future. And they're going to be contenders for years to come. So, yeah, I like that. I like the whole list. I can't really debate with that right now.
Right. As far as the coach of the year, I have one pick who I'm sure will definitely shock the world. G. Irv from Nazareth. And the reason why is because they were undefeated up until that championship game. The games I saw the Monsignor King tournament, that team had a lot of cohesion. You know what I'm saying? Those they definitely grew together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to the teams in the AA, but if I had to pick a coach, it would have to be G. Irv.
Definitely, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that too, Dave. I think that what he's accomplished, like he could basically be in the Double A next year with this team. Well, a lot of kids are graduating, of course, but
Mhm.
what he's accomplished alone, I don't think no other coach can do that. Despite the fact
Mhm.
he lost the championship, so that would be another guy that I would consider for this award.
Yeah. Once we get down, y'all understand the method to my madness,
Right.
Mhm.
and how I thought about that because when we got down to the Catholic school, coach of the year, G. Irv did win it.
Okay.
I just thought with a course too, and you'll see who I got for the PSL. I think when you have the team that, Jay, you broke it down so perfectly. With all the talent that Jimmy Lynch lost,
Yeah.
with all the talent that he lost, starting a freshman, I don't know too many people that starting a freshman that got to the
Mhm.
Final Four.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And playing another one coming off the bench
Yup.
and did what and they was undersized.
Yup.
Their big man was the freshman. And it wasn't like he was 6'7", 6'8". He's only 6'5", 6'6", maybe. So this is, that was one of the reasons why I said, you know what, Jimmy Lynch. And I saw the sets he was calling. There were times when they needed a basket or they needed to stop and he called a timeout, they would get that as a result of him calling that timeout. So I know he implemented something that allowed his team to be successful in those plays. And
Right.
he did it multiple times. It's not just because they got to the Final Four. I watched St. Francis Prep play a lot and seeing them call these sets and get them out of situations. And of course, with the group that he had and what he was able to do with his young players says a lot about the coach.
Mhm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So cool. All right. Second team. Now, the second team, it hurted me to put, like, again, Josh Pasquarelli could float to the first and second, right? I think he maybe could have replaced Jaden Zimmerman on the first team, but Jaden had such an incredible year, and so did Josh, right?
Right.
So I think out of the two, those two maybe can fluctuate between first and second because of the talent pool that we have in the first and second team selections.
Right.
Mhm.
Nazir Muhammad, who can deny him from what he's done for Zavarian this year, leading
Yeah.
the whole Catholic school league in scoring as a point guard,
Mhm.
Right.
you know? And rightfully so. I think when he got the player, that player of the year, that first team nod for the Catholic School League, I think it was definitely well deserving.
Very.
Big
And
facts.
and then I got Brandon Williams on that second team. Even though he had that missed those couple of games, you can't deny his talent. So to put him down either further or not even mention him in that core 10
Mhm.
would just be a crime in
Mhm.
doing so. Um, and then I have Eric Acker and Karan Alexander finishing off the last two spots
Absolutely.
from Eagle and South Shore.
Right.
Both Division One prospects. Both were steady all year long. Eric Acker, he has to be the leading assist guy in the whole city, averaging about 8 or 9 assists a game. Um, and then Karan being the stellar, steady guard that he's been for South Shore all year long.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that second team is very impressive. I know some may ask, why a player like Jared Dingle was in the second team, but you could make a case. But I think what all those players have accomplished and where they're going gave them the criteria to get there. Um, and I think that it's tough. I mean, if you're on one of these lists, deserving, no matter where it is. So I think that was a good list for second team from both
Hmm.
leagues.
All right, cool. Dave, any objections?
No objections whatsoever. I agree with that second team list, especially with Eric and Kyron. They were definitely deserving. But I
Yes,
think both of them will definitely do big things moving forward. But they definitely left something to be remembered for.
Right.
definitely, definitely. All right, we move to the third team. I think this is the toughest part of
Hmm.
the whole process because you're getting to the end, and there's going to be people that you're going to have to leave off, right?
Hmm.
There's just no doubt about it. You're going to have to leave some people off just because. And again, I understand how the Daily News and the New York Post, Newsday, they all felt because hey, somebody's gonna get left off. But I think for us three, all the games that we saw, I think we're qualified to do so.
Right.
So with saying that, the third team, in the pool. Now, talk about some of the top players in the city. I think a lot always lean towards the offensive end. Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And listen, when that situation happened at CTK, you really got to see what kind of player Devin Vanderpool was. Because all year long, he was a defensive stopper, right? He was that guy playing the best guards throughout the league and throughout the city. But then when that situation happened, when those guys, I had to miss a few games, you really saw the other side of Devin Vanderpool. And that's when I said to myself, wow, this kid, this kid really has what it takes to play on a Division I level.
Right.
Because I
Hmm.
knew defensively, his body structure, he comes from the good pedigree from with his dad that played pro ball. You don't want to count any of those things out. So when it came to making up the third team, I said to myself, like, I gotta consider this guy. Me and John Arnold, what up, John? We would have these discussions, and I would just tell him, I said, yo, there's something about this kid, Devin Vanderpool, which I like. You know, um, being a guard, tall guard myself, was able to shoot the three, get to the hole and do a lot of things well. Also was a defensive stopper. And I think that's what we're lacking at some of our positions at the guard spot. We got a lot of
Hmm.
offensive threats, but not too many people that could do it on both sides. So that's why I chose Devin Vanderpool. Connor Spratley, man, I don't think there's anyone that finished around the basket as better as Connor. And he's such even kill. He doesn't get too high and he doesn't get too low. Shout out to my guy Charles Jones, who kind of reiterated that. And when people see Connor, they probably don't think he doesn't play with any emotion. But man, that kid is so even kill. And when Jefferson needed those big buckets, Connor came through for them in a array of ways. When you think he was gonna get his shot blocked, he would come up with an and one. He'd come up
Hmm.
with a steal. And being so young and being thrown in the fire so early, averaging like 21 points a game, it's just crazy. Um, Khalifa Otoro.
Hmm.
Now, there was a lot of concern um, with the Mary Burcham stats that was going on. I gotta say this now because it's not a knock to my guy Eddie Lau or nobody else there. I didn't put it out. I got a lot of DMs and a lot of screenshots into my DM about stats and this and that. And I just said, you know what? I'm just gonna go off the fact that I seen this kid play like 5 times, and the talent that he had, and knowing that he could have played on the AA level, given the opportunity. But what he did in the A division, averaging 35, I've seen that. I've seen him score 40 in front of me. I've seen him get 20 rebounds in front of me on numerous occasions. Now, we can talk about, and this is, again, we could talk about the competition level, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just like, G Earth players in the A division, we can't fault them for where they play.
Right.
You can talk about their talent level and what they're able to give. So that's why I got him there. Elijah Moore. Now, people would have been like, Glenn, why is Elijah on the third team? He has to be practically the best shooter in the city, if not one of the best in the whole city. And what he did throughout the playoffs and throughout the year can maybe bump him up to the second. I don't know, but I know we couldn't leave him out because of his impact and the fact that he'll be playing in the ACC this year. All of those things have to be accounted for. And then you got Kadir Martin from off of Staten Island, that played very solid throughout the whole year. He was a Jakes Awards winner, along with Chris Greeley. They I think they were co-winners. But what he's done this year and played in the AA and was able to hold his own, he's another solid big man that I thought should have got rewarded. So that's what I felt about the third team.
Yeah, I mean, third team, I'm going to be honest, it's tough. I think it's the toughest one to talk about. Well, you can talk about, but like,
yeah, go ahead.
Like, I feel like I didn't have any like choices, but I said one player I would have considered for the third team would be Brandon Garner from Christ the King.
Just
like I know,
okay,
big bodied. I think he was one key player for them. Had some very down the stretch, had some big games for them in the regular end of the regular season into the playoffs. Devin Vanderpool, there's no debate. He's well deserving because I was there for the Brooklyn Queens Diocese semis against Zavarian when they went into OT. And like you said before, we got with Brandy Williams and Markel Austin being out due to suspension, we got to see another side of Devin. And that game was a straight up example. He came in the clutch, hitting key buckets down the stretch to get them that win against Zavarian, because let me tell you, Zavarian gave them the fits throughout that game. And Vanderpool was like, nope. Same thing of how the championship game ended. I wasn't there for that, but it came down to key free throws from Vanderpool to help them seal that win. So he was the guy that won those big games for them and got them that Diocese championship. So no debate about that. Connor Spradley, another undeniable kid, just because what he does as a sophomore, he's so far ahead of his time. Like, he's a sophomore playing more like a senior, and at his best. So, yeah, man, that's all I gotta say about that. Kadir Martin, when you're not going to mention St. Peter's this season without mentioning Kadir Martin, the performances he put up. I think I saw him when he in person when he was at Curtis, at Barclays last season before, and he was killing doing his thing. And he's another player that plays ahead of his time. And I personally think I one thing I'm gonna say right now, one of the top wings in the top 25 class, him along with Brandon Stores. Is going to be TV until both of them graduate.
Nah, that's real right there, brother. That's real. That's real. That's another one. That's another one who I could, this is how This is how tough it would have been, right? So you think about it. Okay, let's be honest, right? Brandon Stores, Brandon Gardner. Who gets the nod and who do you take off?
That's a tough one.
Very tough, man. Very tough. Yeah.
Very, very tough. I just feel like Brandon unfortunately didn't get the respect he deserved because he had some great games, some really good games. So
Definitely one of my favorite players in the whole league. I was telling his coaches, he got a young Bernard King kind of game, right? He has a young Bernard King kind of game. Once he gets those guard skills down packed, it's going to be a wrap for the city.
Right.
Absolutely.
So, again, before we move on, do we take off Khalifa? Do we take off Kadir? Who do we take off for Brandon? Or we leave it as is? Brandon Stores, Brandon Gardner.
It's hard. This list?
Hard.
Yeah, hard. Yeah, Kadir, you got to keep him on because, I saw him dismantle Curtis the first game of the season in Staten Island.
Right.
I saw him dismantle Stepanak.
Oh, I was dead too. I was so mad I didn't take that game. Yo, hold on. Let me just say this, Dave. I mean to cut you off. Listen, I was so mad that I didn't take that game because I thought Stepanak was going to smack them. And before I knew it, St. Peter's won it, and I'm sitting there going, why did I take the game?
The way that game was going, it was like you kind of knew something big was gonna go down because Stepanak has been wonderful, but this season there's been games where they've been a little shaky to say the least.
Yes.
They were games in which they were not consistent in the CHSAA and out. Like I saw them lose to Simeon at the Hoop Hall Classic. They barely beat St. Francis of Baltimore. That was also a good game, and this is a game they played at home. What other games did they? Well, they lost to Hayes twice.
They got blown out by Hayes, I think by like 30. Hayes 30 piece though.
Oh wait, no, that was the Archdiocesan game.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's been a good year for Stepanak, but it was also rough in some ways. But getting back to Kadir, he's been very, very consistent. So it'll be really, really hard to take him off the third team. And it's like with him and Jalen Munson, I feel like St. Peter's is in the midst of a renaissance.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that kind of hurted Brandon Stores was the fact that his team didn't do well at all.
Yeah.
They were a young team.
They were a very young team, and I watched him struggle. Was it against Hayes? It was against Hayes, right? Or Stepanak. It was in the playoffs. He had a very good game the first game, and then the next game he didn't play that well, and I think that's what he was fighting with all year, being consistent.
Yeah, Bishop Loughlin was their last game.
Right.
They lost to Bishop Loughlin in the I want to say it was the quarterfinal. No, I want to say the second round or first or second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So Devins has stayed, Connors has stayed, Khalifa, Elijah, and Kadir.
Keep him.
Yeah. I mean, Bertram was the number 1A team in the state because he's out there. So, you take him off, leading the number 1A team in the state during the regular season, that's going. I mean, well, was he number one? I think Naz was number one, but I'm not sure. It was like top 3 or top 5 A team
all year.
So you have in the A division, you really had like 5 thoroughbreds. You had Naz, Transit Tech, Clinton, Bertram, and one other team I can't think of off the top of my head. I want to say Epic South.
Yeah.
It was very good. I think Clinton is the only team, one of the only top teams I didn't see.
Yeah, I saw Clinton against Walton. You know what the problem with Clinton is? Very talented team. Great backcourt with, Jason and Noah, but the league they played in was very weak.
Yes,
Yeah, it was.
It was
that's
an
what I looked at.
extremely weak league. I think Noah's coming back next year. I think Clinton is gonna they beat Wills. Okay, they beat a double A team Wills at the Monroe tournament. Can't I'll give them props for that. But I think they're gonna have to up it next year with the non-conference schedule.
Yeah.
Because if they do that, I think they'll get more respect, and that's gonna make them better going towards the postseason with the key players they got coming back.
Fellas, y'all have no idea how smooth this is going.
Yeah,
And to hear, your commentary on why each player should be there, it took me like a whole week to kind of come up with this.
right.
It wasn't easy. I just was like, you're making sure that there was a purpose in doing it. It wasn't any favoritism, anything like that. It was just like, okay, why? And then I had to go back and check who they played. Right? I had to go back to the schedule and be like,
Right.
because there's some, kids that scored 40-some points a game.
But who do they play
The kid
against?
for
That's the
community,
question.
right? And I was just like, but who did they play?
Yeah,
Like,
Exactly.
who did they play? And when they played those teams, how well did they do?
right. Right.
Okay. This is why, I called to you guys, man, because I know you guys is gonna be fair. Let me see. Bam. All right. PSAL. Boom. So PSAL. It was a toss-up for Player of the Year between Trey Shep, Whitfield, my guy Jay-Z, Jaden Zimmerman, who I thought, again, let me go back. Jaden Zimmerman, I think, had one of the best seasons on the low, right? Because not too many people talked about this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, this is not a knock towards Ian, but I would see some of the things that Ian does that Jay-Z could do.
Right.
And I was saying to myself, wow, no one has talked about this kid the way they should. Being able to shoot the threes, long, can play defense. His athleticism is off the charts. And his IQ, they coach well. But I just thought what Trey Shep was able to do and keep Eagles steady all year long, all the way to the end, kind of nedged out everybody else in the PSAL. And then for him to get hurt in the city championship game and not come out, I said, if that's not the Player of the Year, what is? Because I didn't know. I didn't know his foot.
Nobody knew.
Right?
Yeah.
We got up to the state championship game up in Albany, and that was that's what we was talking about. So salute to Trey for that. Coach of the Year. Now, again, I thought Kev did a great job this year. But I also thought Kev did a good job last year, Coach Kevin Hamilton from Eagle Academy. But he has such a core group of seniors to work with and guide, right? I just thought Bud starting 2 sophomores the whole year and the way those kids played the whole year, only having 3 seniors on the whole team. One started but really didn't get that much playing time because he had a freshman that was the 6th man that would come in. So he had a freshman, 2 sophomores, and 2 seniors rocking the whole year. And it wasn't a deep team. They weren't deep at all. I think they went like 7 deep. And a big man would come off just to give Anthony Isaac a breather or keep him out of foul trouble during the end of the quarters. So you saying really they only went like 7 deep, and the other guy that would come off the bench was a freshman who they moved up from JV.
Mm.
So get all of that in consideration, and they get to the city championship and they lose at the buzzer.
Right.
Heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, man.
And I was just like, man, you got to be coach of the year if you're doing something like that. You know, I considered giving him the coach of the year, but I think Jimmy Lynch was in that same kind of predicament, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of
Absolutely.
predicament, and I just think he just nudged Bud and Gary out of that spot, because it was just someone I was just talking about all year long as far as the work that he was doing with St. Francis Prep, and so that was that, and then the first team. That was the first team.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah, not surprising at all.
No, that's
Very
not
accurate.
no.
I'll move this up some. Right? We already spoke about what Anthony and Trey Shep did. Eric Acker, Jaden Zimmerman, Karan Alexander making that first team solid.
Right.
Now, going back to Bud, did you guys know that's all he was working with throughout the whole year?
No.
He had
Yeah.
2 freshmen. One he brought up from JV. He had the
Mhm.
really big kid who he brought in at the end of the game that only gave Anthony Isaac a break during the end of the quarter, so Ant wouldn't pick up a foul. And then they had the athletic. I forgot my man's name. He was athletic kid, but he was on a football team, right?
Mhm.
In the starting lineup, and then you had Tristan and you had Connor, Poppy, and Anthony, and got to the city championship. That I just think that was just amazing. So salute to Bud.
He did a lot more with less. Always got to
Right.
salute those who do a lot more with less. And I remember seeing them at the Brooklyn Collegiate Tournament against Monroe. They only had 5 or 6 players in that game, and they dropped like what 93 points.
Yes, and they blew what's the name out as well. They blew Eagle Bronx out by 20.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did. The very first game.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
Hey,
actually, no.
do we
I take
switch?
that
Do
back.
we switch Bud? Do we switch Bud to coach of the year? Overall, we keep Jimmy.
Yeah. I feel like St. Francis Prep had maybe more depth, so you got to keep Jimmy. Great job by Bud, but yeah, when you look at it like that, yeah, Jimmy probably had a stronger schedule and had more. Yeah, he had more depth on his team.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. So we got it right. All right. Okay. So I'm gonna start from the bottom up, right? Because I see y'all see a name that plays in the pathway division, right?
Trayvon Turner.
Trayvon Turner. Trayvon really definitely one of the best players in the city, hands down. If anybody haven't seen him play, I know you guys have seen Trayvon play, correct? You guys did see Trayvon Turner play this year?
I think I say I seen him play. I didn't see BD.
Right. Yeah.
I saw BDA play twice. And I struggle with putting him. This is why I struggle with putting him on this list because people are gonna say he plays in the pathways, but it's not like he's 19 years old. He's 18 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So he's of age. He's of age. He's a kid that I saw that I said, you know what? If that guy has been one of the best players you saw all year, he should be on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He should be on the team. There's no way he shouldn't be on the team. He was definitely, for me, that I've seen all year long, he had to be top 10 player that I've seen. And at some moments, he played like a top 5 player. So that's why I put him on the team. If you guys have any objections, again, you know, I'm a rock with the group.
No, I mean, I think it's a good list. Ahmed Ibrahim. I've never heard of him.
Oh, he's plays for. Now, why am I forgetting? Not Newtown. Oh, Edison. He played for Thomas Edison.
Okay.
6'7", can shoot the 3. He get it down low. Listen, he destroyed Transit Tech. He just didn't have any help. There was nobody on that team that could guard him. Coach Hafford put Ashton Reynolds on him.
Mm-hmm.
He got Ashton in foul trouble real quick. Now, he averages, I think, 24, 23 points, 17 rebounds. He's one of the top rebounders in the whole PSAL. Plays in the A division.
Mm-hmm.
He was definitely one of the top players that I've seen play all year. You're gonna hear a lot about him next year, for sure.
Okay.
Again, nobody's a mainstay here. You know what Khalifa could do? Siani Arthur.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely can't take him off.
Take him off.
At his size, you know what I'm saying? Just the way he's able to perform at his size is just amazing.
Right.
Not many little guards can do what he does. Not too many.
Right. He can fill
He's
it up.
But he's not just your regular little guard. Like, he has a heart. He has a big heart, the heart of a lion.
He caught my attention this year during the Brevoort Summer League, and you know, watching him, you know, play this year, you know, sneak into the gym and watching him put up buckets, and just the word on the street was just like, yo, you can't forget about that kid. Not a lot of people are talking about that kid, and you know, rightfully so. They kind of fell short in the playoffs, but I think Kenny P was kind of rebuilding from last year's team.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Connor Spratley.
Right. Yeah, man, I think this list is pretty good.
All right.
Yeah.
No, go ahead, Jake. Okay, listen, this is why you here.
I'm gonna no disrespect to homeboy Turner, but I would like to put the A Division champion Jarrell Solomon in his place.
Oh yeah.
Who you said?
Jarrell
Solomon.
It's like, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like, I'm gonna go by players I've seen in person.
Right.
Solomon is one of many players I've seen in person at the NYC Prospects event.
Yeah.
I know Tope was the killer that game, but Jarrell Solomon was also another guy, and like knowing that what he was able to do, leading Transit to their A Division title this year, winning MVP, got to show some love and put him there, in my opinion.
Definitely, yeah.
What about?
I think that's more than fair.
What you think, Dave? I watched. Listen.
I agree with Jaquan. I think it's more than fair.
Again, I thought about this, right? Because Coach Hafford said him playing in Brevoort improved his 3-point shot, and then he won our 3-point contest. Right?
Right.
He worked in that shot the whole year, and to watch it manifest in the championship game is crazy. So Trayvon goes.
Could it be like an honorable mention type?
Yeah.
Yo, bro, that's
It's life, man.
It's hard. Yeah. Honorable mention would be tough. Yeah.
yeah, it's just
It's a
2
lot of
teams
kids
and
that would be
5.
good for. Yeah. It's a lot of
Right.
kids that should be honorable mention at least.
Now it could be moved. It could be moved. Third team. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We definitely could move them to the third team. So this is what I have for a third team.
Oh, yeah. Raphael Tawil. What school is he at?
He's at Scholars Academy.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Shout out
That's
to
the kid who
Scholars.
won MVP. He won
City and
MVP.
state champs.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
Well, they did. I think they lost in the state championship. They lost in the state championship. I think so. Hold on.
They lost to Poly Prep in the semis, I think.
Yes, I think they lost to Poly Prep in the state championship.
Yeah.
Somebody won. It was one New York City team that won.
Yes, it was Poly Prep and it was more Catholic.
Oh wait, you're right.
Wait, okay, so Scholars did lose to Poly Prep in the chip because they came back and beat more in the semis.
Yes.
Yeah, I was following along. In that, yeah.
And
they did Poly Prep.
Hold on. Oh, wow. Do I have this? Would I have this kid? Hold on for a sec. Oh, shit. Hold on.
Okay. No, you're right. Yeah. That's accurate.
Hold on. Because I forgot this kid. I wrote this kid's hold on for 1 sec, fellas.
Wait, what's going on? If you go to the New York State Federation website, they have them like they have Poly Prep winning, but it says 86-86.
Yeah, I know. That's
weird.
Yeah. Because I
didn't
didn't realize it until I posted it, and and they had the same scores.
I'm like, yeah, that can't be right. Something must have happened because that can't be right.
Right, I think it's 89. I think it's 89, 86.
Yeah, that has to be a typo or something because there's no way. Like the game finishes tied, you just give the victory to one team. Yeah.
Right.
That don't look right.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. The kid, Kalen Destin.
Kalen Destin, yeah.
Kalen Destin, play for Wills.
Yeah.
They didn't play. I definitely when I looked at their schedule and the people that they did play, they didn't do well as a team. So do we keep Raphael? Do we keep Kalen? What do? We just on these first two right now. Because Trayvon did win. They did win the Pathways Championship.
Right.
But I think, I think you should keep him because actually he did pretty good. Like he had 25 points per game as a sophomore.
Yeah.
So I think he still deserves some respect for that.
27 points.
Yeah. So he still deserves some respect for that. So you gotta keep him on.
Right.
Go ahead, Jake. I see you smiling, but I see you smiling.
I didn't see Wills in person enough. I know about Kalen Destiny's a killer. For his accolades, I'm gonna keep Kalen. For Raphael, back-to-back championships, PSL City championships, I'm gonna keep him there. Reynolds, huge part of that team. Tristan Davis, of course. I didn't get a chance to see Xavier Barrow in person, but heard so much about him. You
I
know,
seen him play. I seen him play a couple of times.
yeah.
Xavier,
So
I think he averaged 29 and 24 in the PSL.
you know, and I do feel that Trayvon deserves a spot somewhere based on his accolades and what he was able to accomplish winning that title with BDA.
Yep.
It's tough
Come
one,
on.
tough one.
Let's talk about it. Who
I,
who who deserve? All right. So if we have a sophomore that averaged 27, we
right.
have a senior. I'm gonna tell you. Let's just go off his PSL stats right now. Let's just do
Mm-hmm.
that. Hold on. Go off right now. Xavier averaged 24 points.
Hmm.
Do we look at the wins and losses? Because I got it right here in front of me.
And I think he led Susan Wagner to the Elite Eight. Just deep
Yep.
run in the
Yep.
playoffs. Not
Yep.
many Staten Island teams go that far.
Right. Right.
You know,
They was the
I,
only Staten Island team that went that far 2 years in a row.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Usually, when you see Staten Island teams making deep runs in the playoffs, it's always Curtis.
Actually, Monsignor Farrell. Wait, actually, yeah, Monsignor Farrell. They made it further, but I
Well,
think you
Yep.
probably meant PSAL.
as far as
Yeah, we just talking
PSL,
about
yeah.
Okay.
PSL.
Oh yeah.
All
As
right.
far as PSL is concerned, yeah, definitely. When you hear about Staten Island PSL teams making it far, it's
Yeah.
Curtis. So yeah, I don't mind keeping Xavier there. It's just a tough one, man. It's a tough.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all seen many of these players more than I did. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
I've
I probably
seen,
saw Xavier maybe. I want to say once, maybe 2 or 3 times at most.
yeah,
Yep.
The game I saw was at Christ the King, the last game against South Shore. So he showed a little bit of something. But yeah, he was definitely pretty good.
yeah. Ashton and Tristan are the guys I saw the most out of this 13.
Yeah.
And I know Raphael is a back-to-back city champion. That's very hard to accomplish in the PSAL.
Right. Right. Yep. And seeing Xavier put it down a few times. Now again, even if Trayvon doesn't make any of these teams, doesn't knock him from being one of the top players in the city, because I don't think too many people could hold his coattail just on his pure skills alone.
Right.
Hmm.
He's headed to a top JUCO, so years to come, he could be definitely a Division One player when
Definitely.
for 4 years. Knowing just by knowing which JUCO he's going to, I think he's going to a JUCO in Texas, Odessa, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
That's we're gonna see him on the big stage, because
Yeah,
man, that kid can play.
yeah,
That kid can play. That kid can play.
no
That
doubt,
kid can play.
no doubt,
Mm-hmm.
no doubt.
So do we move on? We good? We good?
Yeah, we good.
Yeah, we good, we good. Yeah, we good.
All right. Some of you guys, you made it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hold on. What the hell? Oh, hold on. I gotta get. That's what I gotta get right here. Hold on 1 second, fellas. Now look, again, you see, I wasn't too shy on taking someone off, even though I put him up there and I think he deserved it. But
Yeah,
this is a group decision thing, and I think it's definitely worth always considering.
right.
Hold on. Trayvon gonna prove us all wrong one day. Like, you guys didn't pick me for But again, I was making a stretch because usually those guys are not grouped in together, right?
Right.
On a normal basis, those guys are not grouped in together. So move this down. All right, here we go. Turn that, whatever TV is up too loud.
All right, hold on just a minute.
All right, bet. We here. Wow.
Sorry about that, Pooh.
Nah, it's so good, so good. Look, I think this is going super, super, super dope, man. This is gonna be super dope. I think I'm going to drop this Sunday.
Okay.
Is it the Final Four Sunday or Monday?
No, Monday.
Cool. So I'll drop it Sunday. I'm gonna drop this Sunday. I'm gonna promote it. We'll put the list up. I'll send it to you guys as well. And I can send you the stuff, Dave, so you can put it up on your website.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Definitely want to put that up there.
I'm back.
We definitely gonna do that old borough. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a old borough or all county or something like that. That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody that's watching this, definitely look out for that on Saturday, April 1st. Or if not April 1st, April 2nd.
No doubt. Did we already? Okay, no, we just got to the Catholic school. All right, cool. All right, so Catholic school. Again, I just think Boogie was definitely the guy this year. Now, and this is a little side note. I know the guy from Long Island Lutheran won Gatorade Player of the Year, correct?
Yeah, shout out to VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. Shout out to him for
Big
sure. I think this will be their last year playing against Catholic School and PSL, correct?
No, I mean, I think
this is what I heard. This is the rumors.
Oh. Well,
this is the rumors.
If that's true, I mean, it helps the other schools because, for a long time, they've been independent because there's nobody like nobody in the Lutheran League that can play them. So they always had a bye. Right. But, in a way, like, it's kind of not fair to the other schools because they're just too talented.
Right.
And you get, listen, bruh. I've been in this game for a long time. I've seen a lot of things, and I'm not making no accusations, but, I think they only had like 3 guys from Long Island on that team.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's no secret. Like, they've always had kids from out of state or out of the country. The Ross brothers are both from Virginia. Shout out to Jaden Ross, who's going to UConn. But yeah, I mean, they've always been loaded with talent from out of the country or out of state. You know what I'm saying? Lehigh is great. But, like I said before, it's not really fair to the other schools. Like I saw when they dominated Victor, the upstate school, like they just it was crazy.
Yeah.
And
then it's obviously Stepanak.
Listen, when I played, we played Long Island Lutheran.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All of them guys is from New York City.
Right.
They're from New York. They was from the Bronx, and they was from no, excuse me, that was Al Xavier Lutheran. My bad, because Dwayne Ivory was on that team. Yes.
No, Lehigh had city kids too.
Yes, at one time. Yep. But congratulations for what they're doing.
Yeah.
But for the guys that I saw consistently throughout the year, Boogie Flan was hands down the best player I've seen.
That's a fact. Yeah. Yeah, definitely big shout out to Luhai. I think they make the region, the New York City metro region, look good on a
Yes,
national level.
Exactly. Right.
yes,
You know, we need
yes.
to. People still sleep on New York on the national level, but when
Mm-hmm.
they see Luhai, they can't say much about the region. And you know, for years to come, there's going to be more players from the area on that team. You know,
Right.
I just
Eh,
one. I just spoke to one that was on. I think that 2000 and I think they was on. He was on one of their teams. That went to the state uh federations and Tyke Green, who's from Queens.
yes. Kansas
So
State.
yeah, shout out to Tyke.
No, but yeah. That win against Stepanak was kind of like vindication for what happened back in 20. I want to say 2017 or 18, whenever Stepanak won that, because we all know a call was made against
Right,
Luhai, and then if you go to the gym out in Brookville, Long Island, you see that that great banner.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So they never forgot that. So I'm sure them beating Stepanak was like vindication for what happened,
Yeah, unfinished business.
right? So it meant so much to them after that. After like just, I'm pretty sure they had that memory. Well, none of the guys were there, but for the coaches, it probably meant a lot more.
Right, definitely did.
And listen, I'm not making any excuses, right? Luha deserved everything they got this year. And
Right,
again, I agree with you, Jay. It makes the whole New York look good on a national level, both the girls and boys being number 2
right.
in the country. And look, we can't complain, right? We can't make any excuses. They lost to South Shore last year by 1.
Oh
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember that game.
You get what I'm saying? So no
Yeah.
matter
Yeah.
who they have on their team, guys can still compete. It's just that this year they had the much better team. So
Right.
salute to Luha.
It's
Mm-hmm.
Luhai, Coach John Buck, Jay David, Coach Coleman, the whole
For
squad.
sure, for sure. Yep,
Go Crusaders.
definitely. So, Boogie Flan, Coach of the Year for the Captain School League. I have Gary Irvin, which we all mentioned in the beginning of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right.
Beating that.
Definitely well deserved.
26-1.
Yep. And this is first team.
Mm-hmm. I like this team definitely.
Yeah, this is a good list for first team. You know, no I think Brandon Stores, based on what he accomplished as a sophomore,
Mm-hmm.
is deserving. One thing that might be against it is because his team record, but this like I said, the 2025 class, whether it's the PSAL or the Catholic League, shine a lot this year. Shine a lot. Like it was really about the youth. Like if you really no, we all paid close attention to these games. All these impactful games had a guy in the class of 2024, 25, or 26 that, you know, really was an impact player. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so you know, I'm there's no definitely no debate with this first team right here.
And listen, when you got guys like Brandon Stores, Tristan Man Davis,
Right,
Nazir Rodriguez, all of these guys, you know, Connor Spratley, all these guys
Mm-hmm.
coming up, Kalen Destin, like all these guys that's coming up is gonna make New York City look so good.
right,
So,
Mm-hmm.
right.
you know, and I really like the Nazir Rodriguez. I really like that kid. I saw him play in
Me
the
too.
summertime, and I see him play with Skilling this year.
Mm-hmm.
Man, the way I saw him battle and do some things with AJ Rodriguez, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the only reason why AJ kind of slipped on my list because I saw what's my guy Anthony from St. Francis Prep,
Via Anthony.
Veer Anthony shut him down, and Veer's only what 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah,
I watched Veer Anthony hold AJ Rodriguez. And I was just amazed. I was like, this guy won't post him up. He can't get the shot off. What is going on?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But then I saw some similarities with that with AJ as well. But with Nazir. But Nazir is just a lot bigger than Vic Anthony.
Right.
Right.
So, okay. Uh
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can get jiggy with this list.
Yeah.
Hey, you got some ballers. Listen, I seen Jabari. Jabari is such an
No,
undersized
yeah.
big man.
Yeah.
You
No, he was
know,
a force. Yeah, he was a force.
listen, a lot of people could say, he's not big, he's not gonna do nothing on the next level. We talking about high school basketball.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't know what this guy's gonna be able to do on the next level. His heart and his determination and his pure grit allowed him to dominate on the inside in the Catholic School League. So
Right.
Definitely, yeah. I saw Jabari play against Lachlan back in December. Had a good all around game. I think 22-10 and like about 5-6 assists. You know, inside, a little bit outside, could dunk on you, you know, find plays on the wing. Uh that guy on the next level is gonna make an impact. I think, any division 2, high division 2 school looking at him. Not a scout,
Right.
but any coach looking for a player of his caliber should, offer him like right now. Like
Yeah.
seriously, offer him ASAP.
Extend that offer.
facts. Then we finish it off with Elijah Moore, Brandon Williams, Kadir Martin, and Devin Vanderpool.
Yeah. Definitely worthy of that second team.
Definitely.
And third team,
Oh yeah, I definitely like this list. Christian Greeley. Yeah, you can't not talk about Christian Greeley. Like that kid, he was tough, he's gonna get you those buckets. He's always been consistent on the floor. You know, he was gonna get those buckets. Even like I saw the three times they played St. Peter's this year, every game he stood out. Every game.
yep, yep. And he has a certain swagger to him. And I think his confidence shot through the roof this year.
Hmm.
Was putting the ball in his hands again and allow him the freedom to do the things he need to be the great player that he is.
Hmm.
Right.
Of course, Brandon Gardner, who's again somebody that can fluctuate between first and second, depending on the situation. I just thought he wasn't as consistent enough. Great athlete, but I just thought where he was lacking in the move category of a Jabari Phillips, of a
Hmm.
Trey Shep, other Anthony Isaac, who had low post moves and could do things down low. He could shoot the three. I just thought just what he was able to accomplish. I think we're going to see greater games in the future from Brandon Gardner as he goes to the next level.
Hmm.
Okay.
Jakai Sanders,
Hmm.
just a dog. He's just a dog. It could have went, Christian as well, right? But I think watching them play this year and seeing just how much of a dog that Jakai Sanders is,
Right.
and his willingness to keep coming at you, no matter if they up 10 or down 20.
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
Halon Rawlings,
Hang
this,
on.
Hey, Lauren.
man, Nazareth, man, I like this kid. I like this
Hmm.
kid. I like this kid. He has rare moves, very athletic, nice touch, and he can get it done.
All right.
And we round off with AJ Rodriguez,
Mm.
who I've seen has spurts to be top 5 player in the city, just those spurts. But then
Mhm.
other times I've seen him not push himself as hard,
Right.
not go as hard, and come up short. And I think that game with St. Francis Prep kind of solidified it with me when I saw Vic Anthony kind of shut him down, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't
Right.
believe my eyes.
Absolutely.
All right, I'm gonna start some trouble.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. This is why you here.
I am. I big fan of AJ Rodriguez. I think he's going to St. Thomas more next year, post grad.
Mhm.
His stock gonna go up. But I'm
Right.
replacing him with Joel Dickinson from Nazareth.
Wow.
I mean, seeing what Joel's did in that championship game, despite losing to Marcia Farrell.
No, are we just judging this? Are we judging this off one game or a body of work?
I mean,
Let's talk about the
seen
body
him,
of work. Give me a
that
body.
was the second time I've seen him. So like, I seen Iona Prep and Nazareth an equal amount of times. I also seen Joel's and Gacho's round ball. But like, I don't know. Knowing that Joel's made it far, I think Joel's needed some recognition for being that key piece on that Nazareth team.
Mhm.
As
Right.
you know, AJ Rodriguez, good season for Iona Prep, but didn't make it as far as because I'm not going to front. Early in the season, when Iona Prep was number 1 in the rankings, it was because of AJ Rodriguez. He was averaging 23, 7, and 5 early on. But like, I personally feel this is why I was advocating more for an honorable mention. I don't know, man. I feel like we can't,
Hey, listen, we can make the list right here. I got all the stats in front of me right now.
Right. We can make an honorable mention and switch it where we could just put Joel Dickinson, give him his flowers for being that key piece on a Nazareth team, and we can have a guy like AJ be honorable mention. Like I mean, I don't mind.
Joel Dickinson averaged 17 points a game. He averaged 17 points, and hold on, who that? AJ Rodriguez averaged 18. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? 18.77, 18.7, 17.7. Who makes the honorable mention? Because we didn't make an honorable mention. We could kind of make an honorable mention of everyone instead of making an honorable mention for each group.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
So what do you think, Dave? Do we move AJ for Jewels or we keep him? Because we got to talk about the body of work. We just can't talk about 1 or 2 games because 1 or 2 games.
That's a hard question. I don't know. But I would say AJ, keep AJ on the 13 because he had a tougher schedule than Nazareth, than Joel. Joel was great, but
Fair enough.
you gotta think about who they played. Like they beat St. Edmund Prep, I want to say maybe 3 times this season.
Yeah.
3 or 4 times. So, that they steamrolled through that A division.
Right. Iona Prep did have the tougher schedule.
Right.
Can't forget the tournament they went out there and won in Florida. And I think also knowing that Iona Prep, they beat Stepinac this year, which they always struggle with most years. So, all right. I mean, good thing is an honorable mention now.
Who makes honorable mention? And we got Jewels, we got Trayvon Turner, who I think should be one of the top. Again, one of the top players. Who I consider one of the top players. Definitely.
I'll go with Via Anthony.
Okay, facts.
Ty Turnage.
How about Taj Bryant?
Yes.
Taj
Yeah.
Bryant from Eagle. I
Oh,
know he didn't, he came back from surgery at a
Mm-hmm.
certain point in the season, but I think if he wasn't on, if he didn't play this whole season, I don't know if they would have actually made it to the to Barclays.
Who
Right.
that?
Taj Bryant.
Oh yeah. Okay. Nah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Yeah. Yes. Who was it? Who was it? I was just thinking of.
What about Don Cologne? Oh
Yeah.
no. What about? Excuse me. Not saying he's not worth it, but what about Aaron Goldstein?
Yes.
Yeah, Aaron Goldstein. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Aaron Goldstein. Oh yeah. Vera is spelled Vere.
Okay.
Oh, one more player. Bryce Simmons from Wings Academy.
Rice?
Yeah, Bryce.
Bryce.
Bryce Simmons.
Yeah,
Oh
like
man.
he definitely put in work after coming home from one of the best prep schools on the grind session.
West Oaks.
Yeah, he came home from West Oaks because he wasn't happy there, but he came home to Wings and he definitely put on. He didn't have, you know, unfortunately, Wings didn't have the best season, and it was probably the toughest coaching job for Billy Turner this season. But I think his performances warrant an honorable mention.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And who did you mention? What's my man name from South Shore? Point guard?
Jared Dingle.
Jared Dingle. Yeah, he's one of my favorite guys.
Jared Dingle. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about Christian Jeffries?
Oh yeah. Christian Jeffrey, of course.
Right.
When he came back from injury.
Yeah, that kind of put him back. That kind of put him back a little bit.
Hmm.
Nazir Rodriguez.
Yeah, Mookie.
Yeah.
Let me see. What other let me see.
Can't forget the city and state champ PJ.
That's right.
Scalisi.
PJ Khaleesi. That's right. That's right. PJ
PJ.
Khaleesi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Khaleesi.
Um, sheesh. I'm thinking.
Let me see. I want to say Jalen Munson from St. Peter's.
So many great players, man. It's
Yeah,
just
you can't leave a lot of these kids.
You said Jalen Munson?
Yes.
Let's look at the B division as well.
Wait, so if
Uh,
we're gonna do that,
I
probably
just I
say
just want to look at a name just in case that we forgot somebody.
okay.
Not like we making a more Catholic.
Mm.
Was that Cosmo Cargenio? Or what's his name? Gotta put one of those guys down on there for sure. Because just for the fact that they made
okay.
who else?
There's a kid from Eagle Bronx. Their point guard, Khalil Robinson. Um,
Okay.
he played a huge part in their getting the overall that number one overall seed in the city playoffs.
Got you.
Khalil Robinson.
Most definitely, yeah. Khalil definitely earned that.
What about Anthony Graziano?
Yes.
Yeah.
He definitely held them down for sure. He definitely held down St. Joe's by the Sea.
Yeah. Who's the point guard from BC? Jaden Johnson?
Yes. Hold on. Yes,
Yeah,
I think
definitely
so.
James Johnson. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It,
Hold
yeah.
on, hold on. I'm gonna tell you right now because I'm looking at let me see. Let me see. Playoff bracket. I'll tell you right now. Double A. Brooklyn Collegiate. Roster. Jaden Johnson. Yep. Jaden Johnson. Team stats. Jaden Johnson. He averaged 14 points a game. 14.6 assists.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. The big man from South Shore, Jalen.
Hold on. I know you talked about too. Hold up. That right now.
Mm-hmm.
Big man for South Shore name is Jalen O'Brien.
Yes.
Jalen LeBron,
He the one who beat helped him beat Jeff that last
Johnson.
second shot, but he also
Right.
held him down the paint all year.
Right. One kid. Oh, Sat Vander Singh from Epic South.
Oh yes, yes,
Funny,
yes.
yeah. Gotta mention a guy from Epic South that, came on one of the biggest upsets of the season, beating
Definitely.
Berkeley.
Hmm.
Hold up. Make
And the
sure
big man that had the triple double,
Oh, you
Tayshaun
talking
Batson.
Tyshawn, yes.
Batson. Yeah.
Yep, Tyshawn Batson, yep. I had him on y'all. I had him on the team. I had him on the team, fam. I had him on the team.
Mm-hmm.
But I had to make some changes because let me get the roster. Sing because he averaged like 20 something. Him and the other guard on their team averaged like 20 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
Sing, yeah, and he
Oh,
averaged.
Shay John from Forest Hills.
Oh yeah, Shay John, Forest Hills. Hold up. Uh, just get this name right. Uh, First name, defender. Shay John.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Deshaun Batson.
Payback.
And it's crazy because the other kid, we talk about the Sing kid. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. Team stats. Because you had somebody else averaging let me see. Do they have it? They don't have the averages here. It's on the hold up. Boys basketball. Yeah, I think that should be good. Anybody else? Going once, going twice.
Oh,
Nope.
kid from Monroe.
What's the big kid, right?
He say, yeah.
Big kid.
Hold on,
Monroe.
I'm tell you right now. I'll
Oh
tell you right.
yes. Him. Yeah.
Hold
I
up.
forgot all about him. Yeah, he's definitely deserving.
Monroe. They got knocked out early. They look,
Mm-hmm.
they at one time, and what about the big kid from Forest Hills? That's
Shay
Shay
John, that's
John. Yeah,
him.
we got him. At one time they were saying that this kid may be the best big man. What's his name? Hold up. Somebody averages. What was it? CC Dayuda?
Yeah.
No, the CC. Yeah.
Dawuda Cisse, yes. Do that real quick. Yeah, see, we're not trying to leave you guys out. It's just, hey, if it's not this year, maybe next year. Yep. Anybody else? Are we good? Anybody else? Don't want to leave nobody out. Jaden James from Malloy.
Yeah, Jaden James from Malloy. Yeah, definitely
Most definitely.
gotta mention him.
He was one of the leading scorers in the whole Catholic School League, but I just think he was another one that was too inconsistent for me.
Mm.
He was a little bit too inconsistent.
That's very true. Because at times when he wasn't consistent, you had the underclassmen that helped build him up, like Josh Powell.
Josh Powell. Can we put Josh Powell down there?
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Because, man, he's going to be in the running for Player of the Year one day. Man. Sincere Folk, that whole crew, you know what I mean? Man, Sincere, he's going to have a future on him. Love that kid. I think he's going to be one of the top players in the city. When they're seniors, they're going to run New York City Malloy.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yep. Anybody else? Are we leaving out?
I mean,
Adam, what about Adam?
Adam, NJ?
What do you think?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, from Hayes. Yeah. Because I think if he didn't progress this season, Hayes would have been in trouble because they needed that strong point guard play to get them to where they had.
Yep.
Yeah.
What about Tyler Castro?
Tyler Castro, he plays
Holy Cross.
Yes. I saw him at Holy Cross. During the playoffs. He shot the lights out.
Yeah, I like that kid. I seen him play a couple of times.
Yeah, Jacob Moreno. Well, I saw Jacob Moreno play against Malloy. They almost beat Malloy in that diocese tournament.
Right.
And Jacob Moreno was going crazy shooting threes. So yeah.
Yeah.
See. Oh, from Christ the King.
Dwayne
Pierce and Pang. Griffin Pang.
Now, what's Dwayne's last name again?
Pierce.
Now, my thing is, as good as that kid is, he could have been on anybody's first or second team.
Yeah.
That kid is just that good.
This goes to show, like, the amount of depth that every these leagues have.
What was how you spell his name?
Griffin Payne. Hold on, I'm gonna show right now. Hold on, I'm gonna look.
Because I can't find his name on top scorers list.
Yeah, hold on. She Showtime. Okay, yeah, Quinn Fang Pang.
Spell it.
Q no QI. Sorry,
Uh-huh.
QING
Uh-huh.
FANG Pang PANG.
Got you.
Yeah, he that's one guy. Yeah, I mean, some people gonna feel away, but listen, that doesn't knock you from your accomplishments, man. Like,
Not at all.
you gotta
Absolutely.
understand, man. Like, there's a lot of basketball to be seen. We can't be everywhere.
Everywhere.
You know what I'm
That's
saying? And
right.
give us props, bro. We actually outside. Y'all done a lot more
Right.
games than me, but we all outside. You know what I'm saying?
Right. At
We
some point.
outside. We outside.
Hmm.
We all
Listen,
outside.
we ain't taking no smack for no one. Everybody do their list how they want to do it.
Yeah.
Listen, right here, as we go on and we let people know that this will be the official all city brackets. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And I think once people look at it, they're gonna understand and look at it. You're gonna have your haters. People gonna say what they want to say, but I don't think counting all three of us, I don't think too many people saw as many games. If you put all of the games that we saw together, nobody did that much work.
Exactly.
Big fact.
Right. Because we're the voices of the city now. Because there's no newspaper coverage. So.
Yeah.
And salute to what NYC Prospect do and the whole two clap squad. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Salute to all you guys and
Yeah.
what you
Shout out
guys
to
do
them,
as
man.
well. Because you
Definitely.
guys
Definitely.
definitely add flavor and flair to what these kids need to have in New York City. So salute to everyone that's rocking with NYC Prospects, the whole crew.
Shout out to NYC Prospects. Shout out to Real Scout too.
Real
Hmm.
Scout, definitely. That's shout,
Hey,
shout out to
Blue.
Blue. Shout out to what
Yeah.
Blue does. Yep.
Coach
Right.
Yep.
Tippy. So that's the good thing. We fill the void for what the newspapers left.
Exactly.
I wish I would have saw more girls, right? Because I think it's
Whew.
unfair that we couldn't do the girls. I think the list would be it would be a long list as well.
Hmm.
But if I didn't see it, I can't talk about it, right? So
Right.
I think it would be
Right.
unfair just to be grabbing people from the stat books and saying, you know what? Well, I saw this amount of girls
Right.
and just saw this amount of girls,
Right.
So
I mean, there are some that you could call who could be of a source.
Hmm.
My opinion.
definitely. But
Yeah.
there's a group that we definitely don't want to leave out. So we just
Right.
gonna stick with the guys for right now.
Right.
My guy over at NYC Hoops who does the girls, I think he will
Hmm.
be a perfect person to do that with. Maybe I'll hit him
Hmm.
up and
Right.
we could chop it up and do that as well for the girls.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. And any last words before we get out of here, fellas? Any last words?
Nah, man. Thank you for having us on.
Yeah.
It's we definitely can't wait for next season. You know, it's like the city is doing great. It's doing great. So I look forward to bigger things. You know.
Yeah. Definitely look forward to bigger things. I think this was a great year for the city, and it's only going to get better. With the development these kids are having, these teams are getting better and better. Um,
Hmm.
I just think that you know that whole city is down is a myth. In my opinion.
Hmm.
Let's keep it right there. City is down being a myth. We might not
Right.
be all the way at the top, but at the same time, we getting there. We on our way there.
Right. So this weekend, when I'll be out in Houston, we have I think 4 or 5 guys from the New York City area participating in the USA basketball junior national team mini camp. Shout outs to Ian Jackson, Boogie Fland, Dylan Mingo from Lehigh, and Deron Rippey Jr., who's a freshman at Blair Academy.
Word. Yeah,
That's right. That's right. Shout out to those guys as well.
Yeah.
You know,
for the city.
yeah, I just want to say thank you to you guys. Definitely admire what you guys do and respect what you guys do, man. So it means a lot to put this together with you guys. And let's just keep rocking, man. Keep doing it for the city, man. Because look, New York City, baby, we are the Mecca. We always will be the Mecca. Nobody gonna replace us, baby.
Word. Not even Texas. No disrespect, but
and I got a lot of friends in Texas, but yeah, they could never be that. They could never be what we are.
Yup. Much respect to Texas. But
listen, you can fit the whole America inside Texas. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
When we talk about New York City, our 5 boroughs, and then we stretch it out to Long Island and upstate.
Westchester.
Come on, right? Like now we talking. A lot of people like to compete, bring their whole state to compete against our 5 boroughs, but we bigger than that. We bigger than that. That's why we named it twice. New York City, New York.
Facts, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So, fellas, I want to say thank you, man, again. About to get out of here. Definitely going to put this up Sunday. I'll be working real hard because everything is good. I could just slice the beginning, the intro, and we ready to go, man. So, appreciate you guys, brothers. My brothers, always.
Yes, sir. Brothers, man.
All right.
Thanks for having me on.
No doubt.
All right, guys.
All
right. Peace.
Peace out.
Wow. Look, man, this is how you come together, man. New York City coming together to do something for the kids. You know, this is not for us. It's not about bragging rights for us. I had my time in the sun, as you can see. This is about giving kids the opportunity to be heard and to give them some recognition. So I'd like to thank my co-host for the night, my guy Jaquan for Hoops NYC. Follow him at Hoop Dreams NYC. That's Hoop Dreams NYC. My guy Jaquan at Hoop Dreams NYC, and my guy Dave from Dave's Joint. All right, follow them. That's Hoop Dreams NYC. Follow them on Instagram and any platform that they have. Just type it in, Hoop Dreams NYC, and my guy Jaquan come up, and follow my guy Dave at Dave's Joint. He's all over the country. Well, I'm about to be out of here. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Hardy. We are Basketball Heads, the official home for New York City basketball. And as we always say around this time, peace.
Y'all ready? Y'all ready?